T Grizzley, I ain't gonna lie, it might be over with for you, gang, because the things I'm hearing, the things I'm saying, oh, you're not making it out of this one, brother. You're not making it out of this one, brother. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, we definitely got to do a little recap. But let's get straight into it, though. Photo grave, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell. But if you don't understand what's going on, let me break it down to you. Let me give you the 411. Essentially, T Grizzley ass is accused of smoking his aunt. But if you don't know the full story, you can either watch my last video that I just made about it, I believe yesterday on Photo grave, or you can watch this recap right here and you can skip after the recap if you want to see what his new charges is, new things that's going on.
You know what I'm saying? Some niggas open my door trying to get at me. End up hitting her up.
Would they hit her on the body?
They hit her on her side and her arm. She didn't get hit in her face and nothing, just all on her side. You feel me?
How many
on
times?
The side where her heart at.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, on the side like where her heart at.
Now it already ain't making too much sense from what T Grizzley saying, because you're telling me they pulled up and got the famous rapper's aunt. They didn't get the famous rapper. They didn't look for the famous rapper. They didn't even ponder and try to shoot into the crib. They instantly pulled up, saw her in the car, and then popped her and then pulled off. That makes zero sense, bro. Like, if I'm a hitter or if I'm trying to actually get something done, I'm not gonna go after the aunt, bro. I'm not going after the manager. I'm going after him, especially if I know he's right there, because the only reason you're gonna know the car is right there is if you were following T Grizzley. So if you're following T Grizzley, that means you seen T Grizzley get out the car, go up to the cousin house, and then you saw the manager was in the car by herself. So you didn't do that without the intent of actually targeting the manager. You didn't do that on like, hey, I'm targeting T Grizzley, but he went in the house, I'm gonna target the manager. No, you targeted the manager from the get-go, and that's a little suspicious. That's a little suspicious. And so even from the last clip, it's not making any sense at all. So you don't have no firearms on you, your cousin don't got no firearms, you dug down, you don't even really run up and try to help your aunt, you just let her ass pretty much get clapped up, and then you try to play the victim. That's not really making too much sense, but it gets deeper than that. And the reason that it gets deeper is because, first of all, we got to connect the dots. Buka 600 is a 600 member from Chicago. You know, 600, same clique that has Tay 600, 600 Breezy, LA Capone, Rondo number 9. These guys, very famous clique in Chicago. Buka 600 was super cool with T Grizzley. He was actually a groomsman at his wedding, and you know, to be a groomsman at somebody's wedding, you gotta be super clicked in with them, super tight with them. Like, there's no way you're gonna let a groomman in that's not tight with the family. So it gets even weirder when you take into account that Buka 600 is super cool with T Grizzley to the point that he was a groomsman, but the aunt's alleged killer, which is a 600 member named Wu-Tang, which is really weird because it's already been proven that he was a shooter, but the only question is, was he working alone? And police don't think he was working alone. And it's crazier because Wu-Tang was actually caught with the murder weapon in the stolen murder vehicle, and he actually got accused of the murder by the feds because they had so much evidence outside of him actually having the murder vehicle and the murder weapon. Now that was super stupid. We're already crossing historical levels of dumbness, but it gets even weirder because apparently T Grizzley and his aunt aren't related to by blood. They are just related because, you know, there was my mom's friend or there was my mom's sister friend, so it's just aunt. You know how black families do that, even all families do that. They might not be blood related, but we're super cool, super close, so we're gonna call them the aunt and her auntie, and you know, things of that nature. But apparently, since they're not blood related, T Grizzley was getting his thing on with the aunt, and she was pregnant with his child when she actually got clipped. Now, most of this is just speculation. Wu-Tang really did kill her though, but most of this is just speculation. Now, the main thing everyone's focused on talking about is, how is T Grizzley connected to all this? How does this even make sense? And I'll tell you how it makes sense. It makes sense because T Grizzley did not own his rights or his masters. His aunt actually did, because when T Grizzley got out of prison, he didn't have any money, and he didn't want to put all of his business under his name because his face card wasn't right. He wasn't in the right situation. He wasn't ready to take on that responsibility. So he had his aunt, who was his manager at the time, to actually be the one that owns his masters, owns his rights to his music, owns his publishing, things of that nature. Everything was fine and dandy until T Grizzley got on his feet. He started making money, and then of course, like any normal person, he's gonna want the rights to his music back. But the aunt wasn't going for that because she's already making a killing managing him, but she also owns his music, so she's pretty much straight for life. She's looking at this like a meal ticket. T Grizzley looking at this like, no, I want my music back. You're trying to finesse me. And apparently they had some back and forth over it, but it never really went anywhere. And of course, T Grizzley behind the scenes never liked this, but it didn't really get arose to the surface because he didn't really press it. He didn't really make it seem like it was a huge issue because he always had plans on knocking off his aunt, which is insane. But if you don't believe me, the proof is damn near in the pudding. Now, it's not 100% facts, but the fact that the feds and the court is actually looking at this, and it's not just people that are speculating this, is getting really crazy for T Grizzley. And I hope that he didn't do this, because if he did this and his career is over because of shit like this, ridiculous. So the new update on the story is apparently the police chief and T Grizzly had a conversation, and the police chief looked at T Grizzly and pretty much told him, I know you're involved, I'm gonna get to the bottom of it, and we're gonna put you in jail. And then when the police chief tells you some stuff like that, you know your time is limited. Your time is very limited to right now, because the police chief's on your ass. That means these other people on your ass. That means it's finna go down. That means the feds might be looking into, you don't know how deep they got. You don't know if they got phone records. Your main man might be snitching. You don't know. I would have moved to Bora Bora. I'm telling you, Dubai, got up out of there. I don't know why rappers don't be doing that. I'm getting up out of there. I'm going to Mexico. I'm going to Texas and I'm going to Mexico, straight like that. So don't know why he didn't go on a run. Don't know why he's still here trying to act like he didn't have anything to do with it when he damn well knows he probably did. Then we get to more information on the family side of everything, because apparently since T Grizzly isn't related to his aunt by blood, obviously his uncle married her, his uncle was dating her, so that's his aunt through that relationship. Well, T Grizzly's uncle went to jail for 3 months, and during those 3 months, not only did she pass away, but T Grizzly started having relations with the aunt, and that has a huge red flag, because why would you start having relations with the aunt right after your uncle went to jail? That probably means that you and the aunt been messing around and you been doing some shady stuff. So you already backdoor, smacking your uncle wife, smacking your uncle girlfriend. Disgusting, bogus behavior. But it gets really worse for T Grizzly, because you know a lot of street guys are gonna snitch through their lawyer. The lawyer is gonna know everything. The lawyer knows the truth, know who did it, where the body is, where the gun is, and his job is to paint the picture that he's innocent, knowing all this information. So Wu-Tang basically went to his lawyer and told the lawyer that T Grizzly paid us to do this. And T Grizzly paid us to do this because he believed that she was pregnant. So he didn't want his uncle to come home and then she's pregnant, she has a baby, they find out it's T Grizzly's kid. Now that's war with him and his uncle. He's going to have to cut off his uncle, deal with all these other repercussions from his actions, and might get divorced from his wife. He's not trying to deal with all that. So instead, he decided to smoke the aunt because he didn't want the baby being born. On top of that, he also had the issue with her being his manager and her having ownership to his masters and things of that nature. So he definitely wanted her gone. That's not the question. The question is, why would you think this was a smart idea? Knowing that you're hiring a shooter, and shooters are known for snitching. Sorry, most shooters aren't going to keep it silent. Most shooters are going to snitch, especially when you pay them to do something. They're going to snitch. You're probably not putting no money on his lawyer. You're probably not putting no money on his books. You can't have no public association with him. So it's bad for you right now, brother. But the judge and the jury really isn't worried about T Grizzly too much right now, because this is about Wu-Tang, but they are taking note of everything Wu-Tang is saying and is trying to snitch on to get himself out that situation. So it's not too far-fetched for T Grizzly to get charged after Wu-Tang's case is over, or during the case with Wu-Tang, because he's dropping so much information. Because I don't think Wu-Tang's gonna take the stand, because obviously that's gonna kill his image and he's gonna pretty much die in prison. But he can have his lawyer say some slick information for him to try to get him out and try to get him to beat the charges. So you got to take account of that as well. But I really do believe that T Grizzly has something to do with this, because too many fingers are just pointing towards his way right now. It's not looking good for him. But it's also not looking good for his family, since T Grizzly's family doesn't like the fact that he's hanging with his aunt's alleged killer. Don't like that at all. You're still kicking it with Buka 600. You're still in Chicago kicking it with all Lil Durk homies, all 600 homies. You still got these people on the road with you. This guy was your groomsman. It's not looking too good for you right now. So your family's against you, the feds against you, the public against you. You're probably gonna go to prison, bro. So I'd say you need to go to Dubai right now. Unless you genuinely did not have nothing to do with this, I'd say go to Dubai, bro. Because it's not making sense that you on the porch, big as hell, 300, 200 some pounds, 6'1". I give you that, probably like 5'11", 6'1" on Funham Gray, big husky nigga. They came, didn't see you on the porch, fat ass nigga, like you gonna hide behind a podium or something. You ain't doing that. They smoke your aunt, then they drive off and didn't even send no shots at the house. Didn't even look for you, didn't even try to find you. Just sent some shots directly at the car. Smoked her. Not no shots in the backseat neither. Smoked her, then dipped off. Not making any sense, brother. But I hope you make it make sense for the jury, because you might spend the rest of your life in prison, bro. Honestly.